Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining us. This is Yogi. I'm Tony Varela, and you're watching Comic TV. Today I'm going to talk about the comics for Wednesday, August 15th. And stay tuned until later for Yogi's Pick of the Week. So I'm trying to branch off a little bit, try out some independent comics, some different titles. Some of these titles are getting optioned for series and movies, Netflix, Hulu, you name it. There's also a new DC channel coming out as well. So, there's only going to be more and more things getting adapted for screens. So these independent comics are generally lower print runs. So if you can get you a few copies if something gets hot, it's can be very profitable. So Aftershock Comics has the Volition #1. Its artist is Omar Francia, and the writer is Ryan Perot. The art is very similar to Clayton Crane. Clayton Crane does a lot of great Spider-Man art and covers. Does a Ghost Rider mini-series that's incredible. So next up, this is Image Comics, Magic Order #3, Oliver Copiel and Mark Millar. And as I mentioned, this has been optioned for a mini-series from Netflix. The art on this cover, well, I think it speaks for itself. Saucy. Jinx World Comics presents Pearl #1. Gatos is the artist, Bendis is the writer. I don't know how Bendis has time to write so much stuff, but it looks incredible. Haven't had a chance to read it yet. The art inside is as impressive as the art on the cover. I don't know if that's chalk or watercolor or multi-medium, but it's fantastic. And speaking of fantastic art, this is another one of those DC covers. It's almost a virgin cover with the minimal art. This is the Middleton cover for Aquaman 39. Joe Bennett is the artist. Writer is Abnett and Williams. So these Middleton covers are excellent. Everybody's on the wise now, so you're going to see these not be quite as valuable as maybe the ones in the past. But excellent cover, beautiful art. I'm going to pick it up anyway. That's a new artist and storyline for Aquaman, so I'm interested to see how that turns out. Next up, I got Batgirl 25, another Middleton cover. The art is Tom Derenick and the writer is Marguerite Scott. Excellent art by Middleton. I'm always looking to see what he's going to do next, and if I see Middleton on the cover, I'm going to buy it sight unseen. But this is the Kari Andrews cover of Batman 53. The artist is Lee Weeks, and the story is Tom King. Captain America #1 came out a few weeks ago, but I was not able to get this Mike Zeck cover until recently. Mike Zeck is one of my favorite artists. He used to draw Captain America. He did a run on Spider-Man. He did the Punisher mini-series, which is going quite well price-wise. It was going to be a 4 or 5 issue series, ended up being an extra issue. All the covers are excellent. In fact, I got one tattooed on my arm right there. You can see that. So Fantastic Four started again last week, and Marvel's been putting out these incentive covers, the Return of Fantastic Four, and this is for Tony Stark Iron Man #3, and it's an Adam Hughes cover. I showed you a bunch of those last week of Wonder Woman, Vampirella, and others. Hughes is always nailing it, and several of his covers really go up in value. The artist on this book is Valerie Sheedy, and the writer is Dan Slott. He had been doing a long run on Spider-Man, and we'll see how he does on Iron Man. Speaking of Fantastic Four covers, this another Return of Fantastic Four cover by J. Scott Campbell. I don't normally buy Weapon H. I try not to buy Weapon H, but I can't pass up this cover. Look at Sue Richards and the thigh highs. Come on, gotta get that. So Raza does the cover for Weapon X. Yildiray Senar is the artist, and Paquin Valente do the writing on this. It's been a fun book. I'm interested to see how it's going to go with Omega Red becoming a hero instead of a villain. So it's amazing how they accept these people back into the fold. Magneto, and get out of here. Deadpool Assassin. I believe this is a 6-issue series. Had a chance to read this one already. There's some big goings on in this issue. Mark Bagley is the writer, and Colin Bunn is the writer, and Bagley is the artist. Really been enjoying the art and the story on these. I'm very picky about my Deadpool. I need the right tone for it to work for me. I don't like it too slapstick, but Got to be good. Edge of Spider-Geddon. Sandoval is the artist and McKay is the writer. There was 2 covers for this. I got the A cover, it was great, but both of them look quite similar. There's going to be an issue coming out for each of the Spider Universe coming out. There's even a Wild West one as well, and they'll all get their own issues, and I'm sure they'll have variant covers galore. And the Extermination is by Pepe Larraz. He's the writer. Ed Brisson is the writer, and Mark Brooks does this cover. There was a Larraz 1 in 25 variant that I had a hard time putting down, but excellent stuff. Larraz did the run on Avengers. He did the Kanan the Last Jedi as well. And speaking of big things going on, we've got the Infinity Wars #2. This is the Yasmin Putri variant. Beautiful, beautiful cover. I believe this is a 1 in 25 variant. I paid about $20 for it. A little bit more than I wanted to pay, but if I can get something from my LCS instead of buying it on eBay and I pay a little bit more, I don't mind doing it. Those guys got to make a profit too. But this gives way to Yogi's Pick of the Week.
Yogi's Pick of the Week.
So Yogi likes the ladies, so he chose this hidden variant. This wasn't one that was advertised. Nobody knew it was going to happen. In fact, the comic shop didn't even know. They just happened to notice that the cover, the Gamora, was unmasked. So they found it. They marked it up. But I would never have noticed it if they hadn't pointed it out to me. Paul at Dark Side Comics in Sarasota, big shout out to him. He always takes good care of me. And that's a beautiful cover, and Yogi loved it. Stay tuned to tune in next week for the weekly new comics. I'll try to get my videos out as soon as possible. So if you're buying comics still, you'll know what to grab. Thanks a lot.